without their leading scorer, Rachel Terrio. So among those who had to pick up the slack is Emily Cady.
Well, and also Natalie Romeo, a freshman point guard. In the Big Ten tournament, 2 games, she averaged 20 points a game.
And for the Syracuse Orange, 21 wins in the ACC. Brianna Butler is their 3-point threat.
And in talking to Coach Q Hilsman, he said what they're going to try to do against Nebraska's defense is spread the floor, penetrate in, and then get opportunities for Brianna Butler to knock down some outside shots.
The other Brianna is Brianna Day, number 50, a 6'4" sophomore center who has been spectacular for them, averaging almost a double-double. And this is the aforementioned Q, Quentin Hilsman, for the tournament appearance at Syracuse. Before him in the history of that program, they had only gone 3 times, and this is the first time in the history of Syracuse women's basketball they have been to 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Brianna Day, number 50 in white, getting ready to jump up against Emily Cady. And Nebraska's Tara Laudermill has the ball first. They really don't have a true point guard, Carolyn.
Well, they've got 3 players trying to play point guard by committee. You've got Natalie Romeo, you've got Brittany Jeffries, and then you've got Laudermill out on the perimeter.
Alexis Peterson with the ball in her hands, one of the most improved players in the country this year. Missed the first shot, but Cornelia Fondren cleaned up. Fondren coming off a career-high 16 points against Wake Forest in the first round of the ACC tournament, a game that Syracuse lost. And we have a quick foul on Alexis Peterson. That was the first game that Syracuse had to play without Diamond Henderson, their 3rd leading scorer, best scorer off the bench, who tore her ACL in the last regular season game, and they showed that effects taking on Wake in the first round of the ACCs.
It wasn't just her scoring, but the energy she brought to the floor, especially defensively.
Nebraska gets it going from the outside. Wherefore art thou?
Romeo right there.
Second best 3-point shooter on this team. That is the 47th she has made this year, averaging 2 per game. And Slim, Isabella Slim, the sophomore from Amsterdam, who does not score a lot, has only hit 13 threes on the year, missed that one.
Against this 2-3 zone, Nebraska is going to try to get the ball in the middle of the floor, the free throw line area, and then down in the short corners. Connie Yori said that's not always where the shots will be taken, but if the ball can reach that area, it makes the defense collapse and gives time for shooters.
Connie Yori in her 13th season at Nebraska has guided them to 7 20-win years, including 4 in a row. An active streak. Emily Cady from the outside. She does average a double-double. And with the score 5-2, Quentin Hilsman decides to take a timeout.
Well, he's got to be aggravated because the
games. That is Brittany on the left and Diamond Henderson on the right, both out with ACLs. Fondren with the basketball, gets a good look and buries it for Syracuse. Averaging 7.5 points per game. She has all 4 for the Qs early.
And Coach Hilsman told us that he needs Syracuse to attempt to shoot 40% so that they can get their press set. But you did some research, Pam. How many games have they shot 40% this year?
Out of the 30, they have only shot 40% or better in 8 games.
What's the record?
They are, however, 7-1 in those games. So 40% is a tall order for Syracuse to shoot from the floor. Shot clock did not reset. Cady did not recognize, and that results in a 30-second clock violation. And we saw Cady turn around and look at Brandy Jeffrey and say, I didn't see it, meaning she did not see the shot clock.
Well, that's when you have 3 players trying to play point guard position. Normally, that's where the point guard keeping their eye on the shot clock and the general on the floor.
And a foul called on Laudermill, senior from Riverside, California, who plays point a lot when they face man-to-man defenses. She's been a combo guard, a 2-3 sort of player at this level, but told us that she did play the point in high school, so it's something she's not totally unfamiliar with.
Yeah, she and Brandy Jeffries both have spent time in high school. Oh, Butler get called for the offensive foul, but those two in high school were point guards.
Butler who set Syracuse's career record for made threes this year as a junior, called for her first foul. Butler has a beautiful stroke from out there, but she takes a lot of shots. Underneath, Sample hanging in there to get her first basket. Sample playing more of a power forward this year after being a small forward last year. Fondren got inside, rebound snatched down by Brianna Day, who was fouled. Cady whistled for her first foul, and that sends Brianna Day to the line for the first time. Only a 61% free throw shooter. 6'4" out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And her identical twin sister, Bria, is on the bench for Syracuse.
Those twins were heavily recruited, but a lot of schools wanted just one of them. And sometimes you don't have room for both, but they were a package deal.
They went to Syracuse. Dawn Staley at South Carolina said she was very interested in Brianna, but didn't have the extra room for her sister, so they went elsewhere. Slim with the block. And Nebraska can't hang on to it. Second turnover for Nebraska. Nebraska, one of 7 Big Ten teams to make the tournament. And there's Bria.
And she's coming in early. She normally doesn't come in this early in the ball game.
Yep, usually only averages about 10 minutes per game. Butler, that's the shooter. She doesn't take a lot of twos, but hit that one. Brianna Butler, 65% of the shots she has taken this year have been from three-point range, but she hit that too.
You watch, as soon as Syracuse scores, Nebraska's going to try to get the ball out and up the court before Syracuse has an opportunity to set their press.
End-to-end action, Nebraska and Syracuse knotted up at 7 apiece. Cady right at that free throw line, and Coach Hillsman turned around quickly and getting Maggie Morrison into the game. I already said it, Carolyn, that is the spot that he said he did not want his team to give up, and they've already gotten some good looks from that spot on the floor.
Well, listen, when you're going against a 2-3 zone, then offensively line up in a 1-3-1. And that way, you call some decision-making from the guards up top.
Peterson for 3. Alexis Peterson, second-team All-ACC. There's a kid who played last year, limited minutes, averaged only 3 points per game. This year, just under 16. And Cady, check that, Sample strikes again.
Ball reversal against the zone is key, and that's what Nebraska is doing. And as the defense shifts and attacks in the middle.
Butler throws up the air ball. As we take a timeout, off to a good start. Alexis Peterson having a tremendous sophomore year for Syracuse.
Well, they're going to protect the rim in transition defense, so there's no gamble. She says, if you want to bring it at me, she can even block shots.
Ontario has done a terrific job mentoring Natalie Romeo, the freshman who is now starting her 10th straight game at the point. And look what Romeo has done. Improving in the 10 games since. Nebraska, by the way, 4-6 in those 10 games without Terrio. And those numbers take into account what was a terrible game. The first game after Terrio got hurt, Romeo was 0 for 9 from the floor, including 0 for 6 from threes against Rutgers. Came off the bench in that game. Since then, she has been starting and has really taken off. And Rachel Terrio has done a great job of talking her through things and helping her out.
I think Romeo thought she was going to be playing behind Rachel, and when she was called upon, it was a little sooner than expected. She had to settle in.
Especially as a true freshman. Peterson off the mark, rebound battled for, and Ford got it, but she was on the end line. The ball goes over to Nebraska. And there's the pressure. We see Syracuse able to set it up. Freshman with the ball in her hands.
And the key is you always have to keep somebody, at least an option, in the middle of the floor.
Laudermill left open. Off the mark, but a good rebound for Allie Havers, who was checked in. Havers helping them with good size at 6'5". Cady ends up with Laudermill. Back to Cady, who can shoot it from out there. And Butler comes away with it. Travel, and that was induced by the heads-up play of Brandy Jeffrey, a senior, one of 4 senior starters on this team. Out of Vacherie, Louisiana, which she said is about a half hour from New Orleans. And she told us yesterday that she wants to go back home when she's finished up.
She said that she kind of misses home. She always keeps a bottle of hot sauce. I said, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Loves Nebraska. Talked about both she and Tara Laudermill about how friendly everybody was when they made their visits. But she admits, Brandy does, that she really misses that Louisiana cooking. A little bland there in the Midwest compared to what you get in Louisiana. And my partner here from Tennessee, you travel with hot sauce sometimes, right?
Oh, you gotta have
all
hot
about the
sauce.
hot sauce.
You gotta have a little spice.
Nebraska up by 1. Winner takes on South Carolina Sunday night. Jeffrey skies up to get the rebound. She's only 5'7". Has been a terrific rebounder this year, averaging just under 7 per game. There she is. On the fly, Peterson.
Nice pass.
Yes, to Fondren. And Amelia Fondren out of Memphis has half of Syracuse's 12 points. Ball not handled cleanly. Here's Fondren in the open court. Peterson pulls up over Romeo and hits it.
Yeah, you can't turn the ball over against Syracuse. If you're going to turn the ball over, it better be flying out of bounds so at least you can get your defense set.
As you know, Syracuse is going to take it all the way down. Size advantage for Cady, but she lost the ball, and that's a clip on Butler. That's 2. Anna Butler just 2 points so far. Second leading scorer at 13.3 points per game, 20th in the ACC this year. And she's picked up 2 fouls in the first 7+ minutes. But she's staying out there.
Well, I think that she's a little safer in the style that Syracuse plays because they play a zone. But she's got to play discipline and not reach and not get caught out of position.
Nebraska's missed its last 5 shots. Jeffrey has to keep that pivot foot down. Romeo gets it inside, and just as the shot clock is about to expire, Sample was able to get the shot off, but it wouldn't go. Peterson just pulls over Havers. No foul on either player. Havers comes up with it. The officials, Sue Blau, Angela Lewis, Mark Merritt, letting them play so far. Romeo. Breakneck pace. But both teams cold from the floor. Nobody's shooting better than 38%. Butler missed from long range and a foul. And everybody takes a breath or two. Syracuse up by 3 as we head to the timeout. Well, Syracuse, she is in very heady company along with Jordan Hooper and Kelsey Griffin as far as a number of records, double-doubles, rebounds, all these things. Top 5 Nebraska history in several categories. And she is hoping her career does not end tonight. Both teams now just 1 of 8 apiece from 3-point range.
She tied Lindsey Moore in career starts tonight.
Wow, another great player in the history of this program.
Plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves in the WDA, the Lynx, not the Timberwolves.
I know what you meant.
There we go. We're on the same page.
Yeah, you know, one of those teams.
That's why we're teammates.
Jeffrey left it short. Both teams are Ice cold. Pace right now favoring Syracuse, Gherdan?
Oh, most definitely. Because they will quick shoot the basketball, go rebound it, put it back in, get their press set. Where Nebraska really wants to be more deliberate.
That one just would not go down for Peterson. Watermill in the open court. Pulls her way in and draws the blocking foul. And Quentin Hillsman came out on the court. Fortunately, he didn't get a technical for that. Isabella Slim now has 2 personal fouls. Quentin rocking the trademark bow tie.
It's foul trouble for Syracuse when you've got Isabella Slim, she's got 2. Brianna Butler for Syracuse, the shooter, she also has 2 already, and it's only 10 minutes off the clock in this first half.
3-point play for Watermill, and that broke quite a drought for Nebraska. As they've tied it up, and the 3 goes in. Taylor Ford, junior from the Bronx. Averages about 6.5 points per game for Syracuse. Syracuse this year just 1-7 against ranked teams. That one win came against North Carolina. Carolina in its second year in the ACC.
South Carolina's got just about everybody on the floor can take you off the bounce, so they will use a lot of ball screen action.
Extra pass into Cady, and she's fouled.
That's called on Day.
Brianna, that is her first. Day is setting the Syracuse single-season rebounding record this year. And here's Cady, a senior from Seward, Nebraska. 82% free throw shooter, gets to the line more than any other Husker this season. Only Nebraska player with 1,400 points, 300 assists, 100 blocks, and 100 steals. And again, you're talking about people like Hooper and Griffin who have come through this program. And Cady's name is right up there. 2-time second-team All-Big Ten performer. Fondren don't stop, but threw it away. Third turnover for Syracuse. Good cut to the basket. Jeffrey couldn't get it to fall.
Good to see more layups not going in for both teams.
Nebraska's hit just one of its last 10 shots. Slim from Amsterdam. The shot here in Columbia, but she's from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Started every game of her career. She's a sophomore. Not a big score, but that was a 3.
Nebraska still able to get the ball in that free throw line area. Haley Sample and Emily Cady, they're deadly from right there.
Samples from Flower Mound, Texas. And Connie Yori was saying yesterday that Haley was happy to come here to South Carolina because she wanted to get her some sweet tea.
Well, I want me some sweet tea too now. Don't you like sweet tea?
It's a Southern thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta moderate. But it's delicious.
You see how Syracuse using the ball screens, trying to create opportunities for penetration.
Slim was semi-tackled by Romeo, who picks up her first foul. Check that, it's Cady, 2 on Cady. So that could be huge for Nebraska. Cady heads to the bench with just over 8 minutes left in the half with 2 fouls.
Well, Nebraska still has Haley Samples who can work that free throw line area. And then Havers. Havers is 6'5", that can do a nice job of working that short corner baseline.
Slim thought about taking the 3. We go inside 8 minutes. Fondren looked over to Coach Hillsman to get a play call. Forced her way into the paint and got it. Fondren with 8. Watermill on the run. And Slim comes away with it, does not have numbers, so she waits for her point guard, Peterson, to slow things down. Peterson from Columbus, Ohio. She played on the same AAU team as Rachel Theriault, hurt for Nebraska. Syracuse has now made its last 4 shots to extend the lead to 6. Their largest of the night. Fondren already into double figures for them.
She had 16 points against Wake Forest. She's a scorer now.
That was a new career high for her. Left wide open to take the 3, and drilling it, Chandler Smith, a freshman from Brewster, Washington. One of several Huskers that have played through and played around injuries this year.
Hugh Hilsman's going to take a chance. Brianna Butler coming in the game.
Butler going to come back in with 2 personal fouls, and we come back. But they have not seen Nebraska, so Coach Staley and her staff are here doing some scouting for Sunday evening's game.
Well, with the back and forth, the way this game is going, you can't predetermine it's going to be one team or the other, and they really play 2 completely different styles.
Shot clock winding down. Butler notices. Hit the side of the rim. Butler has not yet hit a 3, has won 2 on the night. Nebraska. And a block call on Syracuse. They're going to get Brianna Day. That's her 2nd personal foul.
Haley Sample on the reverse spin. Day still has her foot in that restricted area. That's why she gets called for the block.
Just 1 point so far for Brianna, who averages just under 10. Sample gets the first of 2. Journey to Tampa continues tomorrow with 4 games coming your way at 11 Eastern time. Leading Green Bay and Princeton. Is this the year, Carolyn, when Princeton will finally win an NCAA tournament game?
Yes.
Emphatically.
Yes.
The Fighting Courtney Bangharts taking on Green Bay. NCAA women's basketball coming your way on ESPN2 beginning at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Princeton, if they beat Green Bay, would most likely play Maryland in the 2nd round in College Park. Top seed in the Spokane region. And there's Bria Day. Bria is outscoring her sister right now. Bria 2, Brianna 1.
Well, the offensive second chance opportunities, but Natalie Romeo, right on time.
That is her 2nd made 3 of the night, and Rachel Theriault says, out of the way, rookie. Connie talking about how Rachel Theriault was similar to Romeo when she was a freshman, kind of submissive and quiet. And her game has exploded since then, and she's trying to get Romeo into that same mindset. Peterson driving. She had no fear going against Havers, who's 6'5".
Oh, good closeout by Alexis Peterson. Take away Romeo's 3-point look.
And then she hunts the ball down. Butler doesn't need any time at all to get a shot off. She had missed her first 3 threes, but Coach Hilsman told us yesterday there's no such thing as too many shots for Butler.
Now, Butler can go 0 for 14, and he still has confidence that next one's going to fall.
Funny you should say that. She was 0 for 14 in a game this year against North Carolina.
And they still won.
And he still said, shoot, kid, you're okay.
She is definitely green, and that means green as in go to shoot the basketball.
Peterson got it blocked, rejected in there by Havers. And that is a blocking foul. Boy, Jeffrey went in there kind of out of control, and Slim has picked up 3.
It was fun to watch Syracuse do defensively? He's mainly a 2-3 zone team, but in the middle of the possession, whether it be hand signal or verbally, it'll switch to a man-to-man. And then all of a sudden, when you know, offensively, you started a zone offense, and then he goes man-to-man.
That's very unusual.
First time I saw that done, Coach Vivian Stringer would do that at Rutgers.
Kara Watermill has picked up her second foul, and there's Coach Hilsman. Changes the defenses, and also he has his team, Watermill, sitting down with 2 fouls. Repeat calls a lot, which is also unusual.
Right, but when you do that, you think about that. Most zone offenses is, you know, swinging the ball from side to side. Man offense is more of a screening action. And so you start out with your zone offense, and then midway through, you're going against a man-to-man.
Fondren has been terrific. She's got a dozen.
And when I played against Rutgers with Coach Vivian Stringer, I had my team run their man offense full time. That's a good finish.
Bria Day called for the foul, and the finish sends Sample to the line.
Getting the ball to the short corner is key to the Nebraska offense. Getting it in the middle, and then that drop pass down low, and Sample's working it.
Left the free throw short, but Syracuse could not come up with the rebound. Day got tangled up with Ford, her teammate. 3:06 left to go. And Bria Day goes out in favor of Amber Witherspoon, a 6'4" freshman from Chicago. So both teams have some bigs they can throw out there. Off the mark. Good hustle rebound, and it stays with Nebraska. Nebraska last year lost in the second round to BYU as a 4 seed, and then they hosted the regional in which Connecticut won. And the folks in Lincoln still showed up in droves. Great basketball fans who showed up even though Nebraska didn't make it to the regional. Romeo. She's got 3 threes, and we are tied up 33-33.
And Natalie Romeo is not, she's not shy anymore.
No.
Like I said, she averaged 20 points a game in the 2 Big Ten tournament games.
Leading scorer for this team overall in the last 7 games. And a 3-second violation against Syracuse gives it right back to Nebraska. 4th turnover for the Orange. We've had 4 ties and 4 lead changes in this game in the first half. NCAA Wrestling Championships conclude tomorrow in St. Louis. Watch it at 8 Eastern on ESPN, and watch ESPN special off-the-mat coverage on ESPN3. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. Ball out of bounds again, and with 21 seconds left on the shot clock, Syracuse retains possession. Brianna Butler, the three-point shooter for Syracuse, is on the bench right now. As is Brianna Day, who's been sitting for a while with 2 personal fouls. Nebraska basketball. Just over 2 minutes left to go in the half.
What Hilsman wants is the ball screen. He's trying to get Sample in the ball screen and for the guards to attack her off the dribble.
Romeo, can she do it again? Nope, just a little bit too hard off the back iron. She has 3 threes already tonight.
If Chandler Smith didn't even try for the rebound, she immediately just retreated back in transition defense.
Maggie Morrison, the transfer from Vanderbilt, her first year of eligibility for Syracuse. Rebound battle for Fondren. Just all over the basketball tonight. Couldn't come up with it, but Syracuse hangs on to it. Peterson had time to bobble it, gather it, and shoot it, and no one was near her. She's into double figures. Syracuse takes the lead back at 3. Romeo, as the shot clock hits 10, and we hit a minute to go in the half. Aggressive to the basket and drawing the foul, Brandy Jeffrey. Amber Witherspoon picks it up. Nebraska in the double bonus, but Jeffrey's going to go there anyway with the shooting foul. I asked Jeffrey about missing Rachel Terrio, and she said that they really missed her talking out there, but she says really right now it's like we're trying to think of it as not being a big deal. They've adjusted to it. Everybody has had to come up with different ways to account for the points and the leadership lost, and here they are in the NCAA tournament.
Well, the one thing that Jeffrey and Lardner have done is they have turned up their defense. The aggressiveness that they play on ball.
Jeffrey called for the foul that time, but just her first. Syracuse still not in the bonus. 16 fouls against Nebraska. Gherdan gets the call from her coach.
Well, Nebraska doesn't foul very often.
5th fewest fouls in the nation. They only foul on average 13 times per game, and a giveaway. Shot clock is off. Good play by Morrison, but Nebraska hanging with it. Give the credit there to Allie Havers. Got it underneath for the score. Peterson can't get it to go at the buzzer, and Nebraska ties it up at the half. Romeo and Sample combining for more than half of Nebraska is the southernmost team in the Big Ten. In the Big Ten, even farther south than Maryland?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So you knew that because you're a geographical whiz.
No, I was just listening to their sports information director yesterday.
I think he's right. Peterson misses her first shot. Maryland did win the Big Ten championship, going undefeated. They will start their quest in the NCAA tournament. And right now, Syracuse trying to come away with the win and have that opportunity that Carolyn mentioned to get a second shot at South Carolina. Brianna Day only had 1 point in the first half.
So Nebraska switched on the screen, and Day had a mismatch, but Peterson never recognized it.
Slim with the miss. Romeo had 3 threes in the first half for Nebraska, playing in place of Rachel Terrio, missing her 11th straight game after ankle surgery. And that's good ball movement. That's kind of Nebraska basketball. Move it around, get a good shot, and Sample buried it.
Free throw line, short corner. That's where Nebraska wants the basketball to go.
Nebraska gets the lead for the first time since they led 11-10. 15 minutes left to go in the first half. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the first field goal for Brianna Day, who averages 10 per game. 10 points per game, along with 11 rebounds.
And keep an eye on Emily Cady, too. I think she is that makes the best use out of a bounce pass.
Andy Jeffrey called for the charge. That is the second on the senior from Louisiana. Connie Yori, 7 21 seasons in her last 9 years. 7th NCAA appearance for her at Nebraska and 4th in a row. Native of Iowa. That's a good catch by Day. Couldn't get it to fall, but a foul on Nebraska. They're going to get Sample. Haley's first.
Well, Nebraska's going to have to make a decision if the guards are going to get over the screen or if they're going to switch them. But you can't get caught in the middle the way Brianna Day is positioning herself to make herself available.
Day, a first-year starter out of Raleigh, led all non-starters in the ACC last year as a freshman in both scoring and blocks. And set a new single-season rebounding record for Syracuse this year. 1 for 2 at the line. She's only a 61% free throw shooter, but Syracuse comes away with it.
Watch Peterson. They're going to get ball screen action.
Butler's your three-point shooter. He's been off the mark. Now 1 of 5 from distance. That's right on. Peterson. A long three. And now some of that pressure. Got to get it across in 10 seconds, but a travel as Sample got tangled up back there. And Coach Hilsman said he wanted to use some pressure because Nebraska does not have a primary ball handler.
Look, Coach Hilsman, he plays just about every possession. It's like he's part of the press, and he likes it when he can get that turnover.
Syracuse has scored the last 6 points of this game after they fell behind 38-36. Fondren was very productive in the first half with 12 points. Blocked by Cady, but Day came away with it. Now Jeffrey tries to push it. Romeo. What a spectacular performance she has given. A lift, really, for this team since Terrio has gone out. Freshman called on, and she has responded more often than not. Peterson, such a hard worker, but couldn't get it to go.
See, Laudermill picks up the pace for Nebraska.
That's a charge. Sublau got it. That's 3 on Jeffrey.
But the one thing Nebraska does know is who their three-point shooter is. And pushing in transition, one extra pass to Natalie Romeo, and she knocks down the three.
Romeo did not play most of the non-conference schedule this year because of a hurt foot. But has come back with a vengeance, leading scorer in their last 7 games. And now Syracuse slows it down. Peterson dribbled around for a spell and then took the shot and was fouled by Laudermill. That is 3 on her.
But what is fun to watch is Alexis Peterson getting instruction from Hugh Hilsman. I mean, he is just walking her through every step, and she listens and does exactly what he tells her to do.
And boy, she's a great story again. Peterson, last year as a freshman, averaged only 3 points per game. This year, some 30-point games, including 34 against Wake Forest in the ACC tournament. And we asked Coach Hilsman about her yesterday, and he said he did not think that she would be a 30-point game kind of scorer. And we asked Alexis about it, and she was very humble. She says, well, I'm blessed. My teammates are helping me, blah, blah, blah. We said, yes, but did you think you could do this? And she said, yes. I thought I had this in me, and she certainly has shown that she does.
Well, you can tell by the look in her eye, the competitiveness that she has. Romeo.
She's got 5 threes.
Here we go.
She is out shooting Butler in the three-point category today. Butler says, let me say something about that, but left it well short.
Now, Romeo had 6 threes against Penn State and 6 threes against Minnesota this year.
Got 5 already tonight. There's still almost 16 minutes left to go in the game. Good 8-9 matchup in Columbia. Cady working against Day. Going all the way under. 8 for the senior. Peterson thought she had a path to the basket. Risky play by Jeffrey, who dove after her with 3 fouls. Day fouled by Smith. We will take a quick break and then come back. Nebraska with the lead.
Connecticut. And Kalena Mosqueda-Lewis, I think, could potentially, in the next, if not next game, next 2 games, break the record for all-time threes made. She only needs 12.
Yes. And I think saying St. Francis will have a tough time tomorrow is a very safe statement on your part.
You think so? I mean, anything can happen. It's tournament time.
Peterson time for Syracuse. She's got 16.
But watch the look at her, how competitive she is. I am not surprised with the production that an increase she has made from her freshman to her sophomore year.
Getting the opportunity to play with extended minutes and making the most of it. Listed at 5'7", second-team All-ACC performer this year. Romeo has 5 threes, passed it up for the better shot. Rattled in by Allie Havers. Nebraska back on top by 3. It was tied at 36 at the half. Havers cut off Peterson, but then gave her enough space to get that shot off. Holy smokes. Timeout on the floor.
Number 16, made 16 threes in your last 3 games.
And we welcome those of you from around the country who have been watching other games. Pam Ward along with Carolyn Peck joining you on this first day of the women's basketball tournament. This has been an entertaining game with lots of lead changes and ties. Jeffrey couldn't get the shot off cleanly, and the ball goes off of Butler. Brianna Butler, usually the huge three-point threat for Syracuse, is 1 for 6 from distance today. She is being out-threed. She's being out-Butlered by Romeo.
She got Butlered.
Yes. But they still are going to let her shoot and shoot until she gets the touchback, which could come any second now. That is a sweet move, and then, oh my. Brianna Day thought she got a good block on Havers, who blew by her on the baseline, but instead she picked up a 3rd foul.
Havers is a short corner eater. She works that baseline so well and knows where to get herself in position to get a bucket or get fouled.
So 3 on Brianna Day, who only has 4 points. Havers, a sophomore center from Paw Paw, Michigan. So nice they named it twice. She was a great volleyball player in high school as well.
And her size has been beneficial to the Cornhuskers. Working that baseline, that short corner.
Yep, bring that 6'5" kid off the bench, and we got Cady out there at 6'2". Oh, another foul. Fondren this time drawing it. Havers picks up her 2nd personal foul, just the 5th team foul. And at the half, Syracuse, in the first half, I should say, Syracuse only got to the line 2 times, and we've seen them be more aggressive getting to the basket in the second half. The journey to Tampa continues tomorrow with more women's basketball action, highlighted by undefeated Princeton taking on Green Bay in 11 a.m. games. Others will see Liberty, North Carolina, Chattanooga Pitt, Oklahoma State, FGC. ESPN2 beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, also live on the Watch ESPN app, all coming your way tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see what North Carolina, how far they advance. You know, this year they're playing without the ACC Player of the Year from last year, Diamond Shields, who transferred. But Alicia Gray has really upped her game.
Fantastic player. Peterson could not get the roll. Syracuse with a fresh 30. Butler comes away with it and hits the 2. Unusual because she has more 2s than 3s so far this game.
Offensive rebounds for Syracuse is the key. They're 3rd in the nation with offensive rebounds.
And we saw him get a couple on that trip alone. Romeo, nope. Rebound falls right into the hands of Havers, but she couldn't get it to go. 3 on 3. Peterson, attack. Quentin Helsman said he didn't think that she'd be a big-time scorer when she came to school. Well, especially late in the season. So now it's Syracuse with the three-point advantage and pressure.
I really like that the women's game adopted that 10-second backcourt to make the pressing worth something.
Emily Cady calmly hits her 9th and 10th points of the game to cut the lead back to 1. Cady sample in double figures along with Romeo for Nebraska. Peterson and Fondren are there for Syracuse. Peterson, crossover. Nothing doing that time. Jeffrey with the high dribble. Somehow was able to hang on to it. Romeo short. Good closeout on defense by Butler to get in the way.
You watch Coach Q Hilsman. He is maneuvering and manipulating every offensive set.
Fondren with the step through, trying to get the foul, but did not get it. And there's Q, the right portion of your screen. He doesn't sit down at all.
He's kind of like Shaka Smart at VCU. He plays every possession.
11 minutes to go. Nebraska slowing it down a little bit. Cady steps out. Butler in the open court.
You watch Q. He's going to have Alexis Peterson. And she took it herself. Not what he wanted.
No, blocked by Smith. Now Jeffries, Cady left open for three. And then Cady stuck her hands in there to get the tie up. Finally, a whistle. Coach Hilsman talking to everybody and nobody at the same time as we go to break.
Anybody else to go down with an injury?
Yeah, both of those players out with torn ACLs. Sykes, the leading scorer last year, was hurt in the NCAA tournament. Henderson tore her ACL in the last regular season game. And she's a senior, so she has seen her career end. Romeo starting to cool off a little bit, but a good offensive rebound by Sample.
Well, you see now Syracuse man-to-man defense. This is a zone that it changed into a man-to-man.
And on that switch, Brianna Day induced the travel. Jeffrey took steps. That's now 12 turnovers for Connie Yori's team. Syracuse with the lead and the basketball, I should say, 1 point lead. Day turned right into a double team and a foul is called. And that sends Brianna Day to the free throw line. Just 4 points so far for her, averages just under 10 per game. The road to the Frozen Four ices up Sunday with the NCAA Hockey Championship Selection Show at noon Eastern on ESPNU. And watch ESPN. Visit NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. Day gets 1 of 2.
Day, to be a sophomore, almost averaging a double-double in the ACC.
Not bad at all.
No, that's tough to do.
Sought after by many top-level programs. Turnover. Butler takes a couple of steps to her left and misses wide left.
I asked her, I said, how do you have the confidence to take so many shots? Because she only shoots 28%. She goes, I know we've got rebounders.
Yep, best offensive rebounding team in the ACC, third in the nation. Another giveaway by Nebraska, and another foul by Nebraska. Emily Cady, by the way, has 3 for Nebraska, along with Laudermill and Jeffrey. In fact, that was Jeffrey's 4th, so 2 players with 3, and now Brandy Jeffrey with 4. Brandy has not scored in the second half. and sits down, one of 4 senior starters for this team. 8 team fouls for Nebraska. Syracuse has committed just 1. And Nebraska usually only commits 13 fouls a game. That is 5th best in the nation. Peterson misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Free throw shooting.
And I tweeted out earlier, if you want to advance in the postseason, you got to get your free throws tightened up. Because there's so many teams shooting below 70%. That's unacceptable in college basketball.
Nebraska, the best free throw shooting team in the Big Ten this year at 75%. Syracuse just 67% as a team. Unacceptable. Right?
That is so true.
Nebraska in its last 7 possessions is 1 of 8 from the floor with 4 turnovers. But there's a but. They're only down by 2.
Well, Syracuse has come down, and they have taken quick shots as well.
Jeffrey right back in there with 4 personal fouls. Well, excuse me, she's on the bench. Syracuse just 2 of their last 8.
And Laudermill back in the game.
Laudermill back in, thank you.
With Alexis Peterson, who has left the bench, gone back in the locker room area.
Laudermill playing with 3 fouls. So Syracuse puts Maggie Morrison in for Peterson, their floor general and scorer. Laudermill off the back rim. Nebraska's still cold until right now when Haley Sample sneaks in for the follow and gets fouled.
Well, it's good positioning. Laudermill, when she attacks, she pulled the back of the zone up, and Haley Sample just really bulldozed her way in to get that backside rebound position and then to get the putback.
7th tie of the ball game. 4th foul for Isabella Slim. And the Dutch person goes over to the bench. Free throw miss for Nebraska. Sample, one of the poorer free throw shooters for the Huskers, misses it, and we stay tied. So no Peterson out there, so the offense going to look a little bit different right now for Syracuse. They always have her to go to. Shooters shoot. Butler 4 for 11 overall, 1 for 8 from 3, but gives Syracuse the lead. Smith, the freshman, gets fouled on the way to the basket. Fouls mounting up. Just the 2nd team foul, however, against Syracuse. Missed her last 3 threes. And Alexis Peterson, 24 shots for Peterson. That is a new career high for shot attempts in a game. And the good news is she is back from the locker room, appears to be A-OK, and is in the ball game. Smith, 1 of 2 from the line. Nebraska trailing by 1. Syracuse trying to get a rematch with South Carolina.
And the seniors for Nebraska are trying to not have their careers at Nebraska come to an end.
They have won more games than any 4-year class in the history of that program. Butler driving, more aggressive. I like seeing that. The 3 has not been consistent for her today, so she's being a little bit more aggressive. $11 points now for Butler. Lead is 3 and a whistle before the shot. And another foul on Syracuse. And the word now from the Syracuse bench is that Peterson is indeed A-OK, no injury. So that's excellent news for the Orange. Taylor Ford has committed her 2nd foul, and Isabel Slim is back in, playing with 4 fouls and a turnover.
It's a great hustle by Peterson. Saved the ball back in bounds.
16 giveaways for Nebraska. Brianna Day. 3 seconds. Yep, because she had a foot in there while she was spinning like a whirling dervish. Now pressure from Syracuse in the full court. Good job to save it by Laudermill. And then another bump. Butler's third. 5 team fouls now against Syracuse. Nebraska's been over the limit for a while. Cady with the big height advantage, but decided not to do anything about it. But now she's posting up Fondren. Block by Day. .25 seconds left on the shot clock as the ball caromed out of bounds off a Nebraska player. Fondren catches, shoots, scores. 16 points for Fondren, tying her career high that she set in her last game against Wake Forest.
Syracuse right now, they're trying to do anything to try to speed up the game, but Connie Yorey has gotten control of the tempo.
Timeout taken by Connie Yorey as her team has fallen behind by 5, with just
to bring traps and not allow the game to slow down.
So after the timeout, we'll see what Nebraska has up its sleeve. Winner will get South Carolina Sunday night at 7 Eastern on ESPN. And that's a good drive by the senior Laudermill. Her 5th point, second leading scorer, just under 14 per game. And she's been playing with some foul trouble tonight. Forcing the steal almost and goes crashing to the floor. Laudermill told us when she is finished, she wants to be a correction officer. She interned at the Nebraska State Penitentiary in Lincoln. Her dad is in the profession, and she wants to go work at the pen.
And smiled about it. She was
fired up.
Welcomes that, yeah.
A neat kid to talk to from California who says she wants to stay in Nebraska, loves it there.
On the reverse, Brandy Jeffries, who drew the charge, said she wants to go work with the good kids.
Yeah, she wants to be a teacher. Get it pre-penitentiary time. Nebraska with the ball, only down 3, and another foul. Foul's really mounting up here in the second half. And Isabella Slim, the sophomore from Amsterdam, has fouled out. Not a big scorer, only averages 2 per game, has 3 in this game. She has had some experience with some Netherlands national teams, and she will sit on the bench for the remaining 5.5 minutes.
What Slim brought to the game is rebounding, and she knows her role. She knows her main job is not to score. She's a willing passer, and when you have players that shoot the ball on your team, like Butler, like Peterson, like Fondren, you know where to get the basketball to.
One possession game, Nebraska with the ball. Cady working against Day, a little bit too strong off the glass. And Fondren, who is a really good rebounder, especially for a 5'8" guard, got the miss. She accounts for 14% of Syracuse rebounds on the year. High percentage for a guard, especially at her size. Butler off the mark. Good rundown by Day. And a timeout taken by Syracuse.
Offensive rebounds by Syracuse is what's allowed them to keep control of this ball game. The second and third chance opportunities running down
to Maryland. They almost came from way down to beat them. And they are seeded. Butler from 2.
Well, you know that Syracuse is biting at the bit. They want another shot at South Carolina because they played them close in the Bahamas. But you've got a senior class for Nebraska that does not want their season to end.
Romeo, not nearly as effective as she was in the first half.
But Jeffries with the steal.
Yep. One of those seniors you were talking about. Driving and Ford with another touch foul. Number 3 on her. And now both teams are in the bonus. Jeffrey to the line to shoot the front end of a 1-and-1. 66% free throw shooter.
Ooh, we saw some costly free throws missed in both the men and the women's tournament from yesterday to today.
Especially you're missing that front end of the 1-and-1. Brianna Butler has not missed from two-point range, but has been cold from three. 1 of 9 from distance. Very unusual for her. Open lane. Day couldn't get it. Inside 4 minutes. Laudermill puts her head down, and they call it for the charge. Take the basket away. Fourth foul on Laudermill as we take a timeout in Columbia. 5 assists, 2 steals. She has been terrific, leading the offense, coming up with some key defensive stops. And again, folks, this is a kid who didn't play much last year, only averaged 3 points per game, has a couple of 30-point games this year, including a career-high 34 against Wake Forest in the ACC tournament. And she's looking mighty good right now.
She's just a sophomore.
He's a baby. And she said coming into this tournament that people need to know who Syracuse is when it comes to women's basketball, as Brandy Jeffrey has just fouled out of what she hopes is not her last collegiate game. The senior from Battery, Louisiana, had more rebounds this year in her senior year than she had in her first 3 seasons combined. And she heads to the bench with 3:40 left to go and her team down 5.
But remember, Nebraska has a freshman on their team that's on the floor, Natalie Romeo, that was red hot from the three-point line earlier in this game. Can she heat back up?
Double bonus. Day just a 61% free throw shooter during the year, is 3 for 8 today.
Syracuse is 6 for 13 from the free throw line.
Under 50%, or else they could have salted this game perhaps away. Laudermill trying to get some space, but Peterson is all over. Cady, another senior, delivers. Lead is just 3. Peterson on the switch.
That was terrific help defense by Cady there to buy time. Laudermill waited just for Peterson to come right back to her.
Butler has not missed a 2 tonight until just now, but got another offensive rebound and the putback. That is the 22nd point scored on second chance points for Syracuse.
There's 2 things you know about Syracuse. One, defensively, they're going to pressure play a zone. The second thing is, offensively, even though they only shoot about 38%, they're going after second and third opportunities on the glass.
Oh, that's huge. They needed that from Laudermill. So over a third of the points Syracuse has scored tonight has come off offensive rebounds and second chance points. 1 possession game as we approach 2 minutes to go. Peterson driving on Cady. And a good rebound by the freshman Chandler Smith. 2 minutes to go. Laudermill drives and puts it in. Nebraska down 1. Butler somehow got that pass into Fondren, who sealed nicely. Fondren with a new career-high 18 points. Back-to-back career-high games for Fondren. Getting more time with Diamond Henderson out hurt. Dial up a 3. Emily Cady. And we are tied in Columbia. Welcome to Columbia, South Carolina, where Emily Cady's 3 has given us the 8th tie of this game. Brianna Butler unties it. Butler, usually the three-point specialist for Syracuse, has been terrific from shorter range. Nebraska becoming much more aggressive going to basket with her long-range shot deserting her for most of the night. And pressure from Syracuse that Lauderdale easily breaks. And now she's trapped. Threw it away. Butler wisely holds it up. The clock is Syracuse's friend right now. That's the 18th turnover for Nebraska.
But the way Syracuse has been shooting free throws, that may be something that Nebraska might think about doing. Just go ahead, lengthen the game. There's a difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
About 19 seconds.
But you got to make sure you get the rebound.
Yeah, you don't want to foul Peterson. She's a really good free throw shooter. Lots of contact. No foul, but another offensive rebound. Fondren grabs another offensive board for Syracuse. Their 17th of the game.
The second chance opportunities that have been created for Syracuse.
Fondren, a 68% free throw shooter, double bonus, and she misses the first one, and the Nebraska people thought there was a foul on that last play against Syracuse. I saw a lot of people leaping and screaming. She missed them both, and they're going to get forward for being over the back of Cady. Wow. Syracuse, look at this, Carolyn. 6 of 15 from the line, just 40%.
Well, the one thing that you do not want to allow to happen is to give the shooting team an opportunity for a second chance point. Emily Cady, great box out, and look, on the season, she shoots 82% from the free throw line.
1-1. Sixth in the Big Ten with an 82% free throw percentage this year. There's part of the difference. 19 shooting under 50% from the line, the other over 70. The senior missed the second one. Syracuse with the ball in the lead, and with just under 15 seconds left to go, Peterson is fouled. Sample's second, but remember, Syracuse is in the double bonus, and Peterson is a good free throw shooter. Just 1 of 3 from the line tonight, however, but shoots 74% coming in to this game.
Nebraska has 2 timeouts.
Peterson calmly hits them both. Coniori elects not to call a timeout, and the ball goes off of Romeo. They went full speed down the court, and with 2 timeouts, they don't call one.
I thought that, well, I think what Coniori was trying to come down.
And right away, they foul Peterson, who just hit 2 free throws. Alexis Peterson.
The sophomore has been huge. She only averaged 3 points a game last year.
22 and counting tonight. And that might have just done it. 2-possession game right now.
And you know Syracuse is just biting at the bit for another opportunity.
Played South Carolina on November 28th in the Bahamas. South Carolina won that game 67-63, but they were down double digits midway through the second half. Lauderdale can't score. Cady gets it in, and the timeout taken with just over 1 second left to go. And a 3-point lead. Seven throws it in. Cady at 6'2", stands over her. They throw it long to Fondren. Great play call. And a foul. And that's going to do it with just 0.4 of a second left to go. Coach the line. Last thing they need to do is foul. Chandler Smith comes in. More length. At 6 feet tall. Not a huge three-point threat. Fondren can't ice it. Desperation shot. And Syracuse, only its second win ever in the NCAA tournament. For the second year in a row, they win their first round game, and Nebraska's season ends at 21